The newest model home with Highland is open to the second story in the main living area, has incredible design and structural upgrades. Stick with me for a great home tour. Now, this is the 289 plan built by Highland Homes, and we're in a community called Palmera Ridge in Leander, Texas, a suburb just outside of Austin, Texas. Now, I'm going to tell you in this video all about this community, but I want to first start with some of the upgrades that are in this new model home, because if you like this model home, you like high-end design, then stick with me. We have a lot of great design, a lot of great upgrades that you can do. But if you want to build this plan from scratch, there are numerous opportunities to do this across the Austin metro area. And there is a room upstairs that I think is so underrated in this plan. Stick with me while we go through this plan in detail, and we will get upstairs and I'll show you that room, or show you the upgrade at least for this plan for that room upstairs. Now, this plan is open to the second story in the main living area. We're over 3,900 square feet. We have 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, a 3-car garage, and a 2-bay garage that has a side entrance in that 3-car garage. Now, like usual, we're gonna start right here in the kitchen, and while we show this, let me introduce myself. My name is Raj Sahu. I'm a realtor in Austin, Texas, and I've represented clients with 21 different builders, including Highland Homes, many times over. And so I'm gonna give you the perspective of walking these homes with hundreds and hundreds of clients. And I can tell you right out of the gate, it starts here in the kitchen with this high-end design. Notice how they matched up the kitchen island cabinet color with the vent hood. But what's unique about this is they also did below the 5-burner gas stovetop that same color. Let me know what you think about this. I've actually had many clients build from scratch and pick a vent hood that matches the color of the kitchen island, just as a very fun design piece. I also just had one of my clients close down the street from here, and they did this countertop similar to this, had great veins running through it, and they extended it into the kitchen backsplash. It is a rather expensive upgrade, but hey, if you're gonna spend money, putting it in the kitchen usually comes back to you, especially when you look to resell this home. Now we're gonna get outside. There is an extended patio option. They also did pavers back there. Upstairs, there is some upgrades that we're gonna show, and even wait until you see the primary bedroom and bathroom, which is right around this corner. While I take a look at this pantry, just to check it off, it is close by right here. And then we do have a breakfast nook area right here. And if you feel like you want a little bit more space in this direction, you want to be able to get in and out of your patio door, there's a couple things that I can mention. First off, furniture is deceiving, right? I could put a completely different furniture piece in here and I think the space would look very different. I also think this accent wall is very cool. It's just very subtle because it matches the color of the wall, but it provides a very fun design piece in here. But the second thing I would mention is if you're worried about access to this patio door, then you can do an upgrade like this, where we have sliding glass doors that really open up this space. Now, you don't have to do these sliding glass doors. Highland does a great job putting windows pretty much everywhere, I feel like, and they have very tall ceilings. I think you can kind of see that right here. But the sliding glass doors really open up the space, both literally and just for show, right? And when I say literally, you have access now into your backyard patio, and you don't necessarily have to use that patio door in that area. And I think when we're talking about space, I'm gonna address the backyard here in a second because every lot is unique, but I wanna first show the ceiling height that's here. This is incredible. When people say, I wanna build a forever home, I wanna be around 4,000 square feet in the Austin metro area, I love showing them backyard patios like this because when they're moving from out of state, a lot of my clients call me from Seattle, from California. Shout out to my clients that moved here from Chicago, from Boston. They all reach out to me through YouTube. They all talk about spending more time outdoors. They're either in the Northeast where they're tired of the snow, they don't want to do another winter, or they're in Seattle, they're tired of the gray, they don't want to do the rain anymore. Don't get me wrong, Seattle's beautiful, it's an amazing city, but a lot of people tell me they're tired of all that rain. And when they see huge patios like this is the dream builder of moving to the Austin metro area. Now, I want to address the elephant in the room, lack of space here. This is a very unique lot. In fact, past those trees, pretty much down the street, like walking distance from this home, there is a second amenity center here in Palmera Ridge. So you get great topography, you get great beauty. I'm gonna show that to you a little bit later, where we have some beautiful lots that you can build certain plans on with Highland. But the problem with topography is sometimes you get lots like this. And what they're doing back here with this river rock is it's all about drainage. They can't have water come down the street in like a raging river. So they have water dispersing in different areas. And when you have, you're being built into a hillside like this, the only issue with that is water disbursement, right? Where is the water gonna go? And so the municipality, AKA the city of Leander, sometimes forces the builder to do certain things like that, so water gets dispersed in a certain direction. Now, if you don't like that, then we can find a lot that backs up to greenery. Plenty of clients that back up to beautiful greenery. And so if you want a better view out of this dining room, it's just a matter of finding the right lot. And that's something that I'm doing on a weekly basis. I'm constantly looking at lots. I'm walking dirt roads before they're even paved to see what lots come up. Because people tell me they love upgrades on the inside of their home. Like, take a look at this butler's pantry, which is gorgeous. Glass inserts on either side on the cabinets. I like how they extended the backsplash here and then did lighting under the cabinet right there to really accent that beautiful countertop. And take a look at this. It kind of makes it look like the that butler's pantry is a part of the kitchen while still feeling like this dining area is a unique space. But getting back to the view, if you want that to be greenery back there, first off, those trees that you see there, they do grow out over time. But yeah, the rocks are probably not going anywhere anytime soon. If that bothers you, it's just a matter of finding a different lot. Hey, real quick, if you're looking for lots around Palmera Ridge, first off, I want to show you the beauty that's here in Leander, Texas. There's great topography, and then there are lots that are down in that direction, but there's a lot of construction going on. So there are some lots that back up to great mature trees and lots around Leander, Texas that I think are fantastic if you like the idea of backing up to privacy and backing up to greenery. All right, hope that helps. Back to the video. I've also had people back up to neighbors where they wanted more privacy in their backyard. And usually the solution to that is just to get landscaping done. And if that's a huge problem, you don't want to do landscaping, you don't want to wait around, there are plenty of lots with amazing views. Now, getting back into the home here, I just want to show you the living room. What do you think about this? Let me know in the comments, where we have this great accent wall that's subtle, kind of similar to the breakfast nook area. Not a different color, but just provides a fun accent piece on that wall, which I think forces your eyes to look up. I also like the light fixtures that are in here. They're very grand, and they also force your eyes to look up when you get out to this main entrance. I also think what's playing a role with that is, notice the color of the light fixture is matching the color of the sliding glass doors and the windows, that dark color. A lot of people love that look. I had a client who built from scratch in a community just north of here, and they did white brick all on the front of their home, and then they did the black windows, and they loved that contrast of the black windows off of the white brick. It seemed like a really fun look. And actually, they moved here from Seattle, so they wanted everything to feel very light and bright. And they reached out to me through YouTube. They've had multiple friends now. They've sent my YouTube, and we have 2 of their friends now under contract building their dream home. And they all moved from Seattle, and they all say the same thing. They want a ton of natural light. They want beautiful light fixtures that force your eyes to look up. And they want primary bedrooms like this, where they can do a primary bedroom extension, which is what you're seeing here, that gets more space in this primary bedroom. It also adds a couple windows on either side here, and then take a look at the natural light that's coming here. Right now, the sun it's around noon, so the sun's actually right above the home, but notice how much natural light is still coming in because there are windows everywhere in this plan. And that's a good thing if you want a lot of natural light. For some people that say, hey, I want to buy a forever home because we're expecting, we want to have space in our primary bedroom, where we can put a crib. First things first, I can tell you, I've been there. My wife and I have a 3 and a 1-year-old. We love our kids. I will tell you that first year after birth, and obviously this is coming from the guy's side, right? And my wife was the one who had to, give birth and go through that whole process. So that's a whole nother thing that's obviously has a degree of difficulty that's well beyond what I can imagine. But I can tell you after, we had our baby, it was really important to have the crib close by. Like, we didn't want to go up and down the steps in the middle of the night to feed our baby. And we were so glad that we had an area pretty much right across from our primary bedroom. But what we also talked about is why not look for a home that might have that primary bedroom space for it. And that's why I think that upgrade is fantastic. Obviously, you can use that space however you want. Like I think what they showed there was just a couple chairs. But for a lot of my clients planning ahead, maybe they're expecting, or maybe they just had a baby, I think that space is incredible to have as an upgrade option. I'll talk about upgrades if you don't know what they are later. I want to go back to this. Check out this tile as the accent behind these mirrors. I like the gold frame around that mirror too. I feel like I would usually match the mirror color with the faucet, but this works, right? It's just kind of like a dark faucet, and then I think that makes the gold frame stick out even more. Let me know what you think about that. But I think the tile, and I just had a client build with Highland around 3,700 square feet. I had another client build around 4,200 square feet with Highland recently. And when they went to the design studio, they loved the upgrade options. One of those upgrade options, and this is at the time I'm recording this video, it was actually the flooring. I think Highland had a lot of great flooring options. I think a lot of builders have moved to luxury vinyl plank, and their engineered hardwood prices are outrageous to the point where I have a lot of clients ripping out their floors after they close on a new construction home and redoing it with a third-party vendor. And as much as that sounds crazy, I can actually tell you it's pretty logical because flooring is cosmetic. I just had a client do a 4,000 square foot home after closing. They did it in 6 days. Now, that's not always the case. Don't take that timetable as if it happens all the time, but I have great contacts that can help you if you want to do it after closing. But they ended up saving about $25,000, $30,000 doing it after closing. Now, here's what's funny about that, though. With Highland Homes, all my clients did their flooring with Highland Homes. Now, obviously things can change, and this is where working with a realtor that has their ear to the ground, that's constantly representing clients with builders, that has a team where we meet on a weekly basis to give feedback to each other on how these builders are changing over time. It's really important to get that perspective from a realtor that has your best interests, and that's exactly what my team and I do. But I can tell you at the time I'm recording this video, very happy with what I saw with Highland. And what I always tell people is if you want to know what design looks like for you, you need to sit down with somebody on our team to discuss what you really value in a home. Tour some homes, like tour a utility room like this. Do you really want a mud bench over here? That's access to the garage. And then really talk about the main components of the home, which obviously is your or maybe not as obvious, but something that we've covered hundreds of times now is kitchen, primary bathroom, flooring are your biggest expenses, and then it's a matter of going through through the home, putting together an Excel sheet, and mapping out what these structural upgrades do, and then for design, matching up what your strong needs are, what your needs are, your must-haves, and how strongly you feel about them, and then what are nice-to-haves. And everybody has nice-to-haves, which are things they love in a home, but they don't absolutely have to have it. And when you lay out all those options, it's nice to see it on an Excel sheet, and then that makes it much easier to start budgeting from there. And that's something that we advise all of our clients do, especially when they're looking at building from scratch. Now, also in this area of Leander, Texas, this is what we advise clients to do, which is have a second bedroom downstairs with an in-suite full bathroom on a 2-story plan. Obviously, sometimes you can't have enough room to have an in-suite full bathroom, but I do think it's nice, especially around this square footage. I would say it's mostly expected at this point to have that second bedroom downstairs. Now, you don't have to do this where the flooring on the bathroom matches up the flooring with the walk-in shower, but you could do that. It does look nice. It's just going to come with a cost. I like how they did the tile all the way up to the ceiling, which I think is important, especially when you can't have a bath curtain on a walk-in shower kind of block anything in there. And then we have a good size walk-in closet. And what a lot of my clients tell me is when they're looking at their forever home, it's multi-generational. You know, if they are expecting, they want these different rooms, maybe they have kids, they always tell me, hey, they want a space for their parents or grandparents to stay with them. And it's really important for their parents to stay and feel comfortable. And when I get that from clients, I always tell them, you know, and I share with them, I completely understand where they're coming from. My parents are getting up there in age. They can definitely go up and down the steps, but I want them to be and feel comfortable for the entirety of my wife and I and our kids being in our forever home, right? I want them to be comfortable, and comfort usually means then that they have a space on the first floor, just in case if anything happens or they don't want to go up and down the steps, or we don't want to think about them going up and down the steps. It's really nice to have that second bedroom down. And this is also nice to have, which is a media room on the first floor. I've had so many clients build from scratch, and they tell me they wish they used their media room more often. But when it's on the second floor, they feel like they can't access it as much or be loud on the second floor, especially when they put like kids down or something like that. I think we've all been there where you're very quiet. Last thing you want to do is, you know, I love my kids, but I don't want to wake them up at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. You know, when they're down, they're down. But it's nice to have then this media room on the first floor where we can enjoy this space. And I like the walls in here. Let me know what you think about that. I'm really digging the accent walls that they put in here. It's just that simple wood design. Actually just had a client do that after closing, and I think it came out really well. Also think this comes out really well, right? The double doors with window on top of window with great light fixture looks fantastic. This brings in so much natural light, and natural light in the grand entrance is really important. And this is also very important. So many different important rooms on the first floor. I think Highland does a good job listening to the buyers in the current market. And these are the things that people want. They want tall ceilings, they want windows, but they still want the rooms that give them privacy in their forever home. Because the last thing you want to do is you feel like you're living on top of each other. And that's the mistake that I see people make, is they buy an open concept home, but then there's no privacy in the home. And one of the biggest things I hear from potential sellers is, wow, we love this home. It's got square footage that we wanted, but we feel like we're living on top of each other. Like I can hear my kids and I can hear somebody coughing in another area. It's like I can never get away. And as much as I love family, sometimes you just need privacy. Sometimes you need a space like this where you can just work, right? We all need that. And I think how Highland is designing their homes is to feel open concept. So when you exit every single one of these rooms, like that media room that's there with those sliding doors, or the primary bedroom in the back left, or the secondary bedroom in the back right, every time you exit one of these rooms, you're met with windows and tall ceilings everywhere. All right, before we head upstairs, because there's still so much to see there, I'm excited to show you some of the upgrades that are up there and some of the options that I think at the time I'm recording this video are fantastic. Let me just show you this powder bathroom, which is located right off of the entranceway, but still tucked away. I always think sometimes builders put a powder bathroom like right at the entrance, like there's another plan with another builder, and there's a option for a powder bath, but it's like right here, and it's like, well, the powder bath then is right off of the front door. I don't think I've had anybody choose that powder bathroom option, but this one, there's a little bit of a hallway that goes there. I think it gives a little bit more privacy. And what is very distracting in an amazing way is this tile. I think tile in the entrance is always dangerous because I'm always worried about the flow into the living room. But I think they did a great job here where it flows really well into the living room. I think it's probably because that darker tile matches up really well with the furniture. Notice they put that same color in the pillows. All of this is very, very intentional to really wow you. And what I always tell people when they're worried about design, they just built a brand new home. How are they going to design everything? I tell them, walk through as many model homes as you can. And that's why I do so many home tours, because if you're looking for inspiration for design, it's here. This is professionally designed. Feel free to rip off, duplicate. That's why these model homes exist. And that's why 4 years ago, I started taking videos on YouTube, not thinking that anybody would really reach out to me. I really just took videos knowing that if I force myself to talk through an entire home tour, I'm gonna memorize these plans. Also, if I have nothing to say in these plans when I'm walking through it, it's probably not a good plan. There's no talking points, right? And I just figured it would make me a great realtor, so when people reach out to me, I knew all the options and I could advise them better. But what's funny is about 6 months into YouTube, I started getting people to reach out to me constantly. And then my entire real estate business is based on YouTube. Right now, 98% of my clients actually come in from YouTube. And so if you're watching this, you're out of state. That's how the journey begins with a lot of people. I can't believe it. I say this in a very humble way, thinking that I'm very surprised that happened. But now that it has, I love when people reach out through YouTube, because I find it's actually the details that really matter in these plans. Like, take a look at this really fun nook area next to these two windows where they put a bench. I literally just had a client do this, where they closed with Highland and they put a bench in their game room and they loved it. They saw it in a model home. And what's funny is I'm like, now I got to share this with everybody. This corner nook area is so cool. Also, this ceiling in the game room is amazing. It just forces your eyes to look up. It matches up well with the flooring. I would never think of doing that on the ceiling, but now I'm going to show that to everybody, right? And I think for a lot of people, having this game room feel open below, where you have these open concept homes, it's so important. And that's where I'm going to get to the upgrades that are here. So structural upgrades are something you have to choose right when you contract on a home. In a lot of cases, so one of those is going to be the sliding glass doors. They did an extended patio downstairs. They did an extended primary bedroom suite, which provided that bump out that I mentioned earlier. And then upstairs, they decided to do expanded bedrooms. And I love this option. I actually don't see many builders provide this option structurally. And so if it's not an option, it doesn't exist. And I've actually had a lot of people ask me about the bedroom size upstairs, because this is really important to them, is to feel like everybody has their own space, or they want enough space for like a desk or something if they have kids that are a little bit older. And I think you see that here with the expanded bedroom. They have furniture over there, but you could easily fit a desk in that area. You get a nice window for natural light, and this is a fantastic option to have. But stick with me, there is another option that I'm seeing right now on Highland's website, and I really want to bring it up to you. It's not necessarily shown in this model home, but when I get back outside of this bedroom, I will show it to you or explain it to you, and I think you'll get a better visual. Now, from a design standpoint, that's something that you choose when you're under contract. And that's why I was saying earlier, for a lot of my clients, they are worried about what they should be budgeting. They're always worried because you're essentially contracting on a home without knowing what your final price is, because you don't choose your design upgrades until you're actually under contract. If builders let you pick your design upgrades before you contract in, you would never be able to get in that design studio. Everybody would be designing, but that's why they don't do it. They force you to go under contract, and then you can get access to their designer and their studio. But I always tell people, when you're looking upstairs, a lot of times when you look at resale, most buyers have already made their decision on whether they're going to buy your home or not. And they really make that decision when they go through the main living areas. It's that emotional feeling they get when they go through your home. And they pretty much make that decision usually downstairs on their first story. Don't get me wrong, the second story can still seal the deal. But if they're not emotionally bought in, the future resale buyer, when they're not emotionally bought into your home at this stage, they're not going to buy your home. It's just not going to happen in most cases. And so I always tell people, if you want to save on your second floor in these areas where you don't have to spend as much. And this is a good tile as an example. Like, yeah, you could use this tile and you could just hide it with a bath curtain if it really bothers you. So that's definitely what you can do from a design standpoint. There's so many other hacks I can give you for design. So many things that my clients are doing after closing. They're saving thousands of dollars, and those are all things that I can give you. But one thing that you don't want to do after closing is change the walls, change anything structurally. And that's where I always tell people, really game plan on what these structural upgrades look like. One of those upgrades that is currently included in the base plan, but keep in mind, I'm in Palmera Ridge, this community, it has the model home, the 289 plan. You can build it in so many different areas. So definitely double check this or reach out to us. We're happy to walk you through this. There is a lifestyle room that you can put in between both bedrooms that are up here. And so what it would look like is, instead of the expanded bedrooms, they would be pretty much more standard. They wouldn't be expanded, but that space that would be left over would have a lifestyle room. And for so many of my clients that reach out to me, they say they want this game room as kind of an area that's going to be free of toys. And if you want free of toys, you got to put those toys everywhere, somewhere. And a lot of people want that separate game room, what I call a second game room, but Highland calls it a lifestyle room. I love that idea of a lifestyle room, especially from, my situation is a little bit different. We have a 3 and a 1-year-old. They don't need a lot of space. They don't necessarily need the expanded bedrooms. Obviously, when kids are older, that will change what our needs are. But as of right now, we would love that lifestyle room. And I get a lot of clients that reach out to me that say that second game room area is fantastic. It really provides privacy too, where it's a little bit more closed in. It's not open into this living room. Now, while we get back downstairs, I just want to mention, with Palmera Ridge, this community of Leander, in Leander, Texas, is on the verge of closing out. They have a small section in the back of the neighborhood that's close to their second amenity center that's open with these lots where you can build these forever homes. What most people don't realize is there is a plan, there's no time period to my knowledge, to extend one of the roads that goes through this neighborhood called San Gabriel Parkway. And that road is supposed to go to Ronald Reagan Boulevard, which is the same road that Apple is building their second headquarters. It's also going to be extended west to the highway in 183. I will find the source for that information and post it in the description of this video. But that's going to get great accessibility around Austin, which is so important, especially when you're living in this area that's very fast growing. Even with the market coming down, there's still nonstop new construction homes that are closing. And so if you like this area, you want to be close by to the highway. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I do know that's going to be a massive value add for people that are looking around this area in Leander or West Georgetown or Liberty Hill. If you're looking at the North Austin corridor, I think communities like this are interesting if you can get it at the right price point. And right now, price points are all over the place. If you're having a tough time with that, so is everybody, because people are overpriced, people are pricing aggressively, and it seems like every day there's something new that's happening in the current market. So if you're watching this right now, reach out to me. We can help you navigate through that market. We not only cover pros of areas, pros of builders, but we also cover cons of those areas as builders, because everybody has pros and cons. So text the number at the bottom of the description of this video. I'd be happy to walk you through what I think your best options are, and my team and I can definitely take care of you. Also, if you want to see lots that you can build on in the Austin Metro, I talk a lot about lots that are coming up that nobody else is talking about. That's going to be on my website at the top of the description of this video. Feel free to sign up for that free weekly newsletter, and I'll send you lots where you can build your dream home. And also, if you want to see what YouTube recommends as a great home tour for you, go ahead and click right here. And as always, I hope that helps. Take care, everyone.